got a bone to pick with some Christians, and here's the thing, I'm a Christian too, so this is going to be kind of an in-house debate, but I welcome comments from atheists and other non-believers or people of different faith. But the biggest problem I have right now is Christians who are trying to use the entire... It's no secret there appears to be a very giant debate between Christians and atheists these days, especially on YouTube and other social networking sites and forums and things of that nature. Opinions are becoming very vocal and more seen and heard these days because of the internet. Now, because of that, every manner of person feels they should give their 2 cents, and we all certainly have the ability and the right to do so. But my contention is this: since when did this discussion between atheists and Christians become about winning and losing and zingers and ad hominem attacks and insults and tallies, like there's some sort of body count, like, oh, you've beaten this many atheists in a debate? I understand the nature that a debate is wonderful and that both sides should present their cases and rebut and react and discuss, but when you solely lose the heart of the discussion, of the debate, in your attempts to try to just win a debate and prove somebody else wrong, then all you're really doing is showing how arrogant you think you are. There are questions that you don't have the answers to. There are questions that your opponents don't have the answers to. There are things people believe that we believe they're wrong about. Atheists believe I'm wrong about things. I think atheists are wrong about things. But when it comes down to the discussion, insofar as we're trying to put them down as if they believe something wrong, or something we think is wrong, then it's not going to do a whole lot of good to just continuously put them down. It's bad enough, and we have to admit, there are some atheists who do go out of their way to present these really off-color, insulting remarks to Christians and do what they can to denigrate them as if they're somehow intellectually superior. I understand this. Not all atheists are like that, and if you as an atheist are not like that, I commend you. But if you are a Christian who is trying to use atheist tactics of the insulting persuasion that we have seen, if you are trying to say that in a mean-spirited way, I don't mind banter, I don't mind playful interaction, but when you're trying to use insulting tactics like certain atheists do use, you're only discrediting yourself and the entire discussion that is to be had. You're making an embarrassment and a mockery out of everything that Christ stood for. Especially in media circles, it seems like we're trying to portray the whole discussion between Christians and atheists as if it's some sort of war, as if we're trying to one-up each other. And again, it goes back to, I don't mind a spirited debate, I don't mind rebuttals, I don't mind playful banter, but when it's trying to, like it's some sort of war, like it's a battle for the future of America, because if we let the atheists win, we're going to dwindle down into Sodom and Gomorrah, because America is a Christian nation. I have news for you, Christians. America is not a Christian nation. If you know them by their fruits, let's look at the fruits of America as a Christian nation. We have the decimation of an entire native race. Over 400 treaties signed with the Native Americans. Who do you think did not keep their end of the deal? We have people who tried to use the Bible entirely out of context to justify slavery. We can look with the women's suffrage movement, with the civil rights movement, with the injustices committed by all of these corporations and the corruption of our government. If you know them by their fruits, it doesn't matter what sort of face you want to paint on everything, this is not a Christian nation. And we're lucky as a Christian to say that God has not judged us yet like He did Sodom and Gomorrah, or like He did with the global flood. So who are we to try to prop up this idea that just because if we're Christians, we somehow are going to make everything better? Do you not read your Bible? Do you not know what happens in Revelation? Have you not read that? Are you surprised I understand this, that we are to be fishers of men and contenders for souls and contenders of the faith, but not at the expense of humility, not at the expense of being people of good reputation to others. This is not a war like people think it is. Yes, we wrestle with the powers of darkness as Christians, as the Bible states. We do this. But should we not do this with respect? Especially in a democratic society where the expression of ideas is something that is found in the First Amendment, that we should be able to dialogue and work out our issues. We live in a democratic society where Christians get off complaining about, well, these atheists, they have their billboards and everything, and it's offensive, and like the atheist billboard saying, it's a myth, reason, this season celebrate reason, basically kind of putting an attack on Christmas. And Christians got all up in arms about that. Yet, let's consider it from their point of view. When we're posting these, hell is real, Jesus saves. There's one that when you're going down to Nashville that says, prepare to meet thy God. Where is the spirit of love in that? It just seems like the most arrogant, boastful crap that I've ever seen in my life in the most wrong-hearted way. Where does that come from? And where do we as Christians have the right to try to say, well, these atheists should take down their billboards, it's offensive. But are we not offensive to them? Do they not have the right to express themselves freely as we do? How do we get off trying to justify that sort of hypocrisy? Where does that come from?